This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Friday, April 10th. China's unexplained airspace restrictions are sparking regional concern. President Lai Ching-te unveils a smart robotics center and outlines 3 expectations. And the president also urges parties to back the defense budget after the KMT skipped cross-party talks. But first, today's top story. China has reserved offshore airspace for 40 days without announcing military drills.
From March 27 to May 6, Beijing issued a series of aviation alerts known as Notice to Airmen, or NOTAMs, covering wide areas of the Yellow Sea and East China Sea. According to the Wall Street Journal, the restricted zones form a long north-south corridor off the coast near Shanghai, stretching between waters facing South Korea and Japan. What makes this move unusual is not just the scale, but the duration. Chinese military exercises typically last only just a few days. This time, the warning period extends to 40 days with no official explanation and no publicly announced drills. China's Ministry of National Defense and Civil Aviation Administration have not commented. Experts say the details of this airspace designation are key. Ray Powell of Stanford University notes the zones are marked surface to unlimited altitude, with no vertical ceiling. Combined with the extended time frame, he says it suggests not a single exercise, but a sustained state of operational readiness. If linked to military activity, Powell says it could signal a shift in how Beijing uses airspace control to send strategic messages. China military and Indo-Pacific security expert Christopher Sharman says the reserved zones could allow pilots to rehearse air combat maneuvers for potential conflict scenarios. The development follows a brief pause in Chinese military flights over Taiwan, as U.S. attention shifted to the Middle East. Officials say the move may also be aimed at deterring Japan and other U.S. allies in the Indo-Pacific. Joey Chow for RTI News.
President Lai Ching-te stated Friday that the government is fully advancing the 10 major AI infrastructure projects, aiming to transform Taiwan from a chip manufacturing giant into an AI application powerhouse. He emphasized that through robotics, Taiwan will convert computing power into practical applications, driving AI adoption across industries. Additionally, Lai said that he expects the National Center for AI Robotics to serve as an engine for tech R&D, a hub for cross-disciplinary talent, and a key bridge between industry and academia. The National Center for AI Robotics under the National Institute of Applied Research, or NIAR, held its inauguration ceremony on Friday. In his speech, President Lai outlined 3 expectations: that the center would provide a large-scale advanced robotics research service platform as a solid backbone for industry-academia research, accelerating cutting-edge technology from labs to validation and mass production, and continuously strengthening Taiwan's integration in robotic technology. Lai further hopes it will become a cross-disciplinary talent hub via courses, hands-on work, competitions, and international exchanges. Finally, it should link Tainan's Shaolun, Liujia, and the Southern Taiwan Science Park to create a robotics industry corridor, promote the application of research results, and drive industrial development. President Lai Ching-te on Friday called on political parties to set aside differences and support the special defense budget, saying, quote, "National security cannot wait." In a post on Facebook, the president said Taiwan must prove to the world that Taiwan has the will, determination, and capability to defend our hard-won democratic freedom. Lai's statement follows moves by KMT lawmakers this week to boycott cross-party negotiations on the government-supported $40 billion special defense budget. More than 24 KMT lawmakers instead submitted a supplementary resolution demanding that subsequent U.S. arms sales undergo a separate legislative review process. Taiwan's president accused opposition parties of delaying defense-strengthening measures for political reasons. He warned that such actions weaken Taiwan's ability to protect itself and could cause the international community to question its commitment to self-defense. Lai underscored that China's ongoing gray zone harassment and military threats targeting the Taiwan Strait and nearby areas have seriously impacted regional peace and stability. He made the appeal on the 47th anniversary of the Taiwan Relations Act, which he described as proof of deepening Taiwan-U.S. ties and the cornerstone of stability and security in the Indo-Pacific region. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council is urging KMT leader Teng Li-wen not to copy Beijing's propaganda points.
Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council on Thursday criticised KMT leader Teng Li-wen's visit to China, accusing her of echoing Beijing's political narratives. Zhang arrived in China on Tuesday for a 6-day trip with a KMT delegation, which she has described as a journey for peace. The leader of Taiwan's largest opposition party is expected to meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping this Friday, raising concerns that this could undermine Taiwan's sovereignty. Speaking at a press conference in Taipei this Thursday, Mainland Affairs Council Deputy Director Liang Wenjie said that Zhang's rhetoric on the trip appeared to be a copy of the position expressed in Chinese propaganda. Taiwanese people's unwillingness to be ruled by the Chinese Communist Party is absolutely not some continuation of the First Sino-Japanese War, Liang said, referring to the conflict that resulted in Taiwan being transferred from the Qing dynasty to Imperial Japan in 1895. Liang also dismissed Zhang's mention of the Republic of China at the Sun Yat-sen Mausoleum in Nanjing on Wednesday, as permitted by the Chinese Communist Party only in that specific location. He noted that such remarks are also not reported within China. He said, "If you want to have exchanges, then have exchanges. If you want to visit the mainland, then visit. But don't cater to these kinds of Chinese Communist Party narratives." Liang urged Zhang to clearly raise 3 points in any meeting with Xi Jinping. First, the Chinese Communist Party should acknowledge the existence of the Republic of China. Second, the will of the Taiwanese people should be respected. And third, the People's Liberation Army should immediately stop harassing Taiwan with its planes and warships. Liang noted that Zhang has yet to express these specific demands on this trip. This is James Thompson for Radio Taiwan International, reporting from Taipei.
Surround view systems on Taipei and New Taipei public buses have been found to contain Chinese chips from Huawei's HiSilicon. DPP legislator Michelle Lin has raised concerns over 82 affected vehicles.
Taking public buses to travel between cities is a daily routine for many. However, bus safety systems in Taipei and New Taipei are now at the center of a national security concern after the discovery of Chinese chips in their surround view systems. DPP legislator Michelle Lin presented evidence that electric buses operated by Xinxin Bus and Tainan Bus contain chips from HiSilicon, a subsidiary of Huawei, raising cybersecurity concerns. She emphasized, "Right here in Taiwan, buses are running all over the Taipei and New Taipei area. This is a very serious national security issue. How many trips have already been made? How many buses are involved? This is something that really needs more attention." Lin said contract terms prohibit the use of Chinese-made products in the purchase of electric buses, but photos showed the logo of HiSilicon. Since the surround view systems capture large amounts of pedestrians and street scenes for driving safety, she warned the buses could become Chinese spy cars. She also said Xinxin Bus and Tainan Bus initially claimed the systems were made in Taiwan and the Netherlands, but later corrected the information after inspection and admitted the chips originated in China. Veterans Affairs Council Minister Yan Defa said, "We need to carry out a full inspection to see what other chips in this company are from HiSilicon. And at the same time, we need to seek compensation from the manufacturer according to the contract and replace all of these products." Yen confirmed that there are 82 buses with problems, including 61 operated by Xinxin Bus and 21 by Tainan Bus, all of which use a supplier that the council has listed as a contract violator. A special task force has been formed to conduct a full inventory, while operators are being ordered to replace the equipment within a set deadline. Changhua Institution for Economic Research, or CIER, Associate Research Fellow Dai Zhiyan stressed that what matters most is not the impact of a single chip, but the whole system, from the dashcam surveillance system to the intersection surveillance system, and then to the connectivity behind it. He said, "Once it can connect to the internet, much of our real-time information can be detected and seen by others. That is the bigger problem. Cybersecurity risks can ripple outward, and every link in the chain needs careful attention." Eloise Phillips for RTI News.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Michelle Chang. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.